Hello YouTube, my name is Dragonheart, the Prince of Wales, and welcome back to another unit overview video. Today we're looking at the vampire count again, and we're looking at Black Knights. So as you can see, they're very dead looking, very awesome looking as well. If I just zoom in just to show you guys a little close-up of this demonic figure right here. Anyway, this is the Black Knights. What are they? What are they like? So let's bring up the UI like we always do, and we're obviously going to bring up our stats. We're going to click one of these Black Knight units. So they are a cavalry based unit. They are armoured and they are shielded, which is obviously a good stat to have. And they are anti-infantry as well. So if we read the text by here, it says they have an advantage against targets that are smaller than a horse. This advantage can be a damage bonus against small targets, superior weight used to smash through lighter enemies, or an explosive attack from range that affects a large area. Now the good news is we're against some dwarves today, which are of course smaller than a horse. So we'll put them into action and see what they're actually like. You get 60 men in a unit. I believe they cost 750 to recruit off the campaign map, and out of the 3 cavalry units that are available to recruit or to use in multiplayer battle for the vampire counts, these are actually the cheapest. The most expensive are the Hex Wraiths. I think they cost something like 1,200 or possibly a bit more. And then the medium is Black Knights, but that's with the polearms and lances. This is just the basic Black Knight unit. They have 6,480 HP. They have 80 armor. And it says by here, the unit has a shield and will block 50% or 30% of all small arm missile hitting it from the front. So anything that's shooting them from the front is only going to do 30% of the damage of, and not the full amount, which is really good. Especially if you're against quarrelers, which is what we're going to be against in this battle right here. They have 50 leadership, which is pretty good. If you compare the 2 other units, it's exactly the same as Graveguard. 50 seems to be a really good number to hit. If you've got a unit that's got 50 leadership, it's pretty good. Speed is 76, which is fantastic. I mean, Direwolves is 95. The Vargeist, which we've seen previously, is 92. But this is 76. It's our 3rd fastest unit on the battlefield today. Melee attack 24, melee defense 26. Which is actually a lot better than Graveguard, and Graveguard is a pretty good infantry unit to have as well. Weapon strength is 38. Well, there's actually better weapons than Graveguard. It's slightly... well, hang on. 38. It's exactly the same as the Cairn Wraiths. Better than Direwolves, which you'd expect. And it's, Vargeist obviously beat it. And then the charge bonus is 24, which isn't too bad. It's a lot better than the Graveguard. Slightly less than Banshee. Cairn Wraiths is worse. And then the Vargeist is exactly the same. So that's what it is. There's a few other things as well. Disintegrated, which is the same as most of the other units as well. And the Crumdon effect as well. It can actually hide in forests. Obviously being a cavalry unit, you'd expect that. And it does cause fear like many of the other vampire units as well. So that's a little introduction to the unit and what it actually does. Let's start the battle. We're against the dwarves today. So what I'm going to do, a little tip for you guys now. If you hold down the shift key, it brings up a little arrow. So I've got the 2 units selected and I'm holding down the left shift right now. And if I was to right click, I can drag around wherever I want to issue a command. So what I'm going to do, because I want to flank around with this unit, I'm going to hold down the left shift, which I'm doing right now. I'm going to right click and make a path all the way around like so. And I'm going to have my cavalry flank around and they will follow that path all the way around. While that's going on, I'm just going to advance forward just to give my enemy something to think about. Get them to think about me. Get my Direwolves. You've seen this now. If you've watched my unit overviews, I've used this formation. I've used this kind of plan just to show you guys what I'm doing. Flanking around. We are against a slightly smaller dwarven army. It's got a mixture of troops in it. Some miners, some quarrelers, some dwarven warriors. And I think we've got Thorgrim in there as well somewhere. So a little bit of a mixture of dwarves. And as you can see, they're still following the path right around. I've probably gone too wide by here. So we're going to just turn this around now and reform. Let's get some unit viewing as well, so what they look like up close as well. I must say, the shield design, one of the things that's caught my eye straight away, is you can see the shields are all different. You've got like undead warriors, you've got like a Viking horn helmet on that one sort of thing. Really good design of these. They are one of my favourite design units of the vampire counts. I think it's the eyes as well. The fact that the eyes are like a turquoise aqua kind of glow, mystic kind of glow to them just looks really good. So I really enjoy this unit. I think they're a fantastically designed unit, and fair play to Creative Assembly for creating such a great unit in the game. Anyway, we've got our units set up by here. So what we're going to do, we're going to just take one, put them to the side, not going to use them. I'm going to bring up the information so you guys can see what I'm going to do. And I'm going to go and charge these head on. Meanwhile, I'm going to just charge my direwolves in by there. And I'm going to actually bring the rest of my troops slightly further forward. Just to get them kind of enclosed. And what we're going to do, obviously they have that resistance to missile fire. Hopefully I can get a direct charge in. I'm going to go for this one instead, it's a bit nearer. Actually, no, we'll go for the crawlers by here. Direct charge. Let's have a look at the crawlers stats by here then. Oh, look at that massive charge. Jesus Christ. We just killed a bunch of dwarves with it. I say we did. We only killed about 2 off the charge, I think, which isn't so good. So what we're going to do is going to see how well they actually do in combat for length of time. Now, we've actually lost about 3 of our men. Killed a few of them. But we are starting to go quickly. Obviously not designed to stay in combat. Although we are anti-infantry and we are armoured and shielded, so not exactly got the staying power that you'd expect to have from, say, the Grave Guard, for example, which is pretty obvious, but they are holding. Not as long as I'd hoped for, but they are holding nonetheless. So I'm just going to throw other units in now, obviously, just to disrupt them. I've actually going to lose my dials in this one. I've miscalculated completely there, but I'm not focusing on them today. I'm focusing on the Black Knights. So we're down to 51. They've only killed 14, which isn't good. But you want to be using these kind of units to attack units such as the Quarrelers and to do some kind of, how can I put it? You want to use them to basically whittle down units like Quarrelers, missile units, etc. I can actually issue an attack order using the left shift as well. So if I hold on the left shift, bring the path around there. He's going to go around there now, and he's going to follow that path around and attack the Quarrelers that are there. That's how you want to use them, attack Quarrelers. And what we're going to do, we're going to zoom in now. Going to get the K key out, so we can see the UI. They are charging. I'm going to be zooming in, so you can see what this is like up close. Or not. Okay, they just stopped briefly. Now they're going for a charge. Got some speed. Boom, look at that. Look at that. Massive, massive, massive charge. Off the charge, we killed 12 off the charge. And now we're staying to get some kills. So off the charge, if you can get a bit of a run-up going. I mean, Crawlers are quite, you know, they are armoured and shielded and a decent melee in combat as well. So they are decent, or one of the most decent missile troops you will come against. But they did a pretty good job on the charge there, which is nice to see. Right, so let's feel enough messing about. Let's actually get some kills now and get my troops in so we can win this battle. I'm going to get Manfred in there as well. Fight the Pajuna. Get that in there. But you can see, you know, the other cavalry is actually still going. Look at this, 28. It hasn't crumbled yet. And it has actually removed the Quarreler units. So it did stay against 3 units for the majority of it. And still got rid of the Quarrelers. Done a decent job there. Now my other cavalry unit, which is still fighting here, actually routed the Quarrelers there. So what you want to do, you want to do hammer and anvil tactics with these. So I'm going to bring these out. You don't want to be in there for too long because it will obviously have an effect and will, you know, over time make them more vulnerable to crumbling. Just going to pull them out like so. Now this unit's losing by here, this direwolf unit, so I'm thinking probably a good idea is to charge the miners. That's exactly what we're going to do. So the miners have about 77 left out of 100. We're going to watch the charge again here. 77, remember that number, guys. We've just charged in. Off the charge. We're going to kill about 5. Kill about 5 off the charge. And we stayed in there now. Even though my direwolves are now gone. They've taken over. They're now fighting. Got them down to 68. And they are actually shaking now as well. So that's actually had a bit of an effect there as well. Although to be fair, the battle is gone in our favour by this point. And that's obviously going to have an overall effect. But you can see how effective they can be if you plan them. You don't want to obviously expose them to heavy infantry constantly because you will lose them. This one has actually survived even though it had 3 against it for the majority. It's done pretty good. Obviously it had some help from the Grave Guard when they came in afterwards. But for the first part of that battle, that little skirmish you had there, it had 3 units surrounded it. One of them being Quarrelers, 2 of them being infantry, and it still held its own. We're going to get them now to charge in. 18 of them remaining, so not as many this time. They got 75 kills, which is pretty decent. Up against 41. Charge comes in, knocked them flying, knocked them all flying pretty much, and it's actually got them wavering. Got them down to 38. And they're going to rout now as well. What we're going to do, we're going to compare the stats of both these. So I got 96 kills and I got 80 kills. Over 100 now actually with this one. They've actually done a very decent job of killing off units here. And the battle's actually over just like that. So I'm just going to end the battle there. It's a close victory, not as good as my previous battles in my overview videos, but we were being cavalry focused in today's video and not really focusing too much on our infantry there. Obviously we could have done that better, but this is a focus video, not a campaign or proper online battle video or anything. Anyway, we lost 486 overall, but what we're looking at is obviously the cavalry, and 85 kills and 109 kills. You compare that to our infantry, obviously 2 of our infantry are Graveguard, they got 100 kills each, 104 and 101. But they have been the next best, 109 and 85 kills. It's fantastic. For an army here which is infantry focused and beast focused with the Vargeists and the Direwolves, to have those two have such a high kill count and used effectively against Quarrelers shows you how valuable to an army they can be. Anyway guys, that was the Black Knight, and this has been a unit overview video. I've been Dragonheart, the Prince of Wales. Thank you for watching. Until next time, goodbye.